Assalamu alaikum, everyone. You guys hear me? Welcome to another Ummah Matters. Sorry. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. You guys hear me? I meant Ummah Matters, my bad. Welcome to another day on Ummah Matters. So, lately I've been watching Speaker's Corner and other channels as well. And the question arises um, when it comes to the Quran, if it has been preserved. I think yesterday as well, we were talking about this in the back chat about the preservation of the Quran. Um, and of course, Allah says in the Quran that He's preserved the Quran, um, but He doesn't say He's preserved the Bible, the Torah, or you know. Um, so I thought maybe we just talk about this topic today and get a little bit more in depth on who compiled it and wrote the Quran to preserve it, on and um, and maybe have a discussion about the Quran and the gathering of it, and who were the Sahabas, of course, um, especially in the final form, how did it reach us today in this final form? Um, in what order was the Quran revealed? Who compiled it, and why did we compile it? These are the things that we should discuss today. Get more educated on that. So when people talk about this in the future or ask us questions about this in the future, we know how to answer these questions without looking like we don't know. Right? We need to educate ourselves about our own Quran before we do any kind of dawah or any sort of dawah, basically. Do you guys agree? Type of one, if you guys agree that we should educate ourselves in our own Quran. So let's get to it. All right. So type of one, if you guys can hear me. Type of two, if you can't. All right. So are you guys hearing me? Are you guys able to hear me? Yes, no, maybe so. Welcome, Salam. Safa, how are you doing? Okay, great. Nice to see you here today. Um, of course, this is an educational channel. It's usually not that many people. By the way, we did change our name. I'm not sure you guys noticed that. It's called Uma Matters now. Long story, but I think I like the new name anyways. The new logo is nice as well. Um, Go ahead and hit the like button. So let's get to the nitty gritty, and let's get educated on who compiled and wrote the Quran. So let me ask the chat: do you guys know who compiled and wrote the Quran, or as final form? Little quiz for you guys. Go ahead and type it in there if you guys know, or if you guys don't know, type in don't know, or type in who you think it is. There's some other things to suffer. Me and my family are doing good as well. So who compiled the Quran in its final form? Go ahead and type that in if you guys know what the answer is. All right. So the question is, who compiled and wrote the Quran? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and explain this. So Muslims believe that its verses were systematically recorded by special nominated scribes, and that it has been preserved in its original form in which it was revealed, without any loss or distortion. Thank you. So the Holy Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad over the course of several years, with the first revelations beginning in the month of Ramadan in 610 AD, during what is known as the Nights of Destiny. But how did the Quran reach us today in its final form? In what order was the Quran revealed? And who compiled it and why? So these are the questions we're going to be answering is, how did the Quran reach us today in its final form? In what order was the Quran revealed? And who compiled it and why did they compile it? So those are very good questions to ask, right? Great answer, Safa. And we'll get to that as well. But like I said, this topic comes up a lot from people saying, "Oh, the Quran is not preserved. Oh, the Quran was written by this person. The Quran was lost. The goat hadiths that people mentioned, this and that." So let's find out if we could answer these questions, and inshallah, maybe we could help somebody else that has these questions and answer for them and educate them on this. So the Prophet Muhammad is described in the Quran as Ummi, which some Muslims interpret as illiterate, and others as one who was not formally taught literacy. He received his first revelation while isolated in a cave in Mount Hira, nearby Mecca. The verses revealed to him were, "Read, in the name of your Lord who created man from a clinging substance. Read, your Lord is most generous. He who taught by the pen taught man that which he knew not." And this is in the Holy Quran, chapter 96, verses 1 through 5. So since the Holy Quran was the cornerstone of the Prophet's divine mission and his declared miracle, Muslims believe that its verses were systematically recorded by special nominated scribes, and that it has been preserved in its original form in which it was revealed, without any loss or distortion. So Allah states in Surah Al-Shura that He communicated to human beings only in three methods: through revelation, meaning without any intermediary behind a veil, meaning as a voice heard from behind an object, as the prophet experienced on his ascension to the heavens, or through indirect revelation, meaning through the angel, which was angel Jibreel, right? That was the angel that was he was the angel that was giving the verses to Muhammad Sallallahu, right? Receiving revelation was a very difficult experience for the prophet. He would sometimes faint, sweat profusely, and feel like his soul was leaving his body. After receiving revelations, Muhammad Sallallahu would recite the verses to his companions, who would memorize the verses or write them down. Reciting verses from memory was common practice in the early days of Islam, as they had strong memories and prided themselves on a very strong oral tradition. However, out of a small pool of people who could read and write, the Prophet appointed scribes, known as Qutb al-Wahi, to note down the verses as they were revealed. He also told them exactly where the verse was to be fixed in the chapter. So when the verses were coming down, they're not in the correct in the correct verses or chapters, but he would tell them exactly where the fix is and what chapter fixes it. So when they compiled it together, they'll know where this verse will go. As the understanding was always there that this was to be a book, just like previous scriptures. So this was already understood, guys. Even though it was verbally memorized, but from the beginning, Muhammad Sallallahu and the scribes knew that it was going to be turned into a book, like other scriptures. Assalamu alaikum, Bernas. How you doing, brother? Firstly, he got prisoners of war to teach the Muslims how to read and write in exchange for their freedom. So the Prophet was so committed to encouraging writing that the number of literate Muslims gradually increased. So he made sure that the Muslims, and he encouraged the Muslims to become literate. And again, he got the prisoners of war to teach the Muslims how to read and write in exchange for their freedom. Secondly, he called upon the scribes for writing letters, contracts, war records, and treaties, in addition to revelation. Thirdly, he encouraged reciting from written text in addition to memorization. So from written text, also in memorization, he encouraged reciting. As a result, there remained scattered extracts and complete copies of the Quran in individuals' possession by the time of the Rasulullah's death. And there's a disagreement among Muslims as to who compiled it into one coherent whole text. Regarding the time of his death, Ibn Abbas states that the Prophet ﷺ recited the book before Jibreel every year in the month of Ramadan. And in the month in which he died, he recited it before him twice. SubhanAllah. The Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 6, book 61, hadith 520. So the Prophet recited the book every year to Jibreel Islam in the month of Ramadan. And in the month in which he died, he recited it twice. SubhanAllah. Some believe that reciting the Quran twice refers to the Quranic revelations being compiled into a complete and final version, and the process termed al-ard al-akhirah, the final presentation. According to hadith in Sahih Bukhari, Abu Bakr ordered the written pieces and parchments of the Quran to be collected into one book after over 400 memorizers of the Quran were killed in 2 battles. According to the hadith, Abu Bakr said to Zayd ibn Thabit, you should search for the fragmentary strips of the Quran and collect it in one book. Zayd said, so I started compiling the Quran by collecting it from the leafless stalks of the date palm trees, and from the pieces of leather and hides, and from the stones, and from the chests of men who have memorized the Quran. The manuscripts of the Quran remained with Abu Bakr till Allah took him unto him. Then remained with Umar till Allah took him unto him. And then with Hafs bint Umar. Sahih Bukhari, book 93, hadith 53. So despite the coalition, there was no immediate rush by the Muslims to avail themselves of this codex. And it is understood that copies of the Quran were available among the Muslims. So the copies were already available among the Muslims. And Abu Bakr wanted to compile them, as we heard, because many Muslims had been killed during the two battles. Right? So during the Caliphate of Uthman, 20 years after the death of Prophet Muhammad the Caliphate had grown considerably into Iraq, Syria, Egypt, and Iran, with a variety of languages and dialects being spoken across the region, creating a perceived need for the clarification for the recitation of the Holy Quran. So here it states that after the Rasulullah's death and during the Caliphate of the Uthman, Islam has grown so wide through Iraq, Syria, Egypt, Iran, and other places that the languages and dialects spoken across the region were different. And it needed to be clarified for the recitation of the Holy Quran. So the Holy Quran needed to be clarified with the tajweed and everything to make sure that it was kept in its full context of the way it should be read. Assalamualaikum. Safi says, so you guys with me so far? I mean, am I reading too fast or speaking too fast, or are you guys able to hear me pretty well? Can we keep going? All right. According to Sahih al-Bukhari, Hudayfa ibn Yaman was concerned about how the people of Iraq and Sham differed in their recitation of the Quran. So Uthman therefore requested the manuscript of the Quran from Hafsa so he could order it to be compiled into one unified codex. He appointed a committee of 4 people, which were Zayd ibn Thabit, Abdullah ibn Zubair, Sayyid bin al-As, and Abd al-Rahman. Al-Rahman B. al-Harith, to transcribe a master copy of the Quran. More people were recruited to the committee to make 12 in total, with Ubay in charge. So Ubay was in charge of this. So 12 were altogether recruited together to unify the codex and compile the Quran into one unified codex. Okay, thank you. Hopefully you guys learn something new, or learn something, or remembering something that you guys remembered from before. So Bay was in charge. So when the book was compiled, Uthman sent copies to Kufa, Basra, Damascus, and kept one in Medina. According to the majority of the historians and scholars, this is the Quran that is with us today, with 114 surahs in the same order. Though it is debatable whether the present order was directed by the Prophet before his passing or decided by his companions later, Uthman also sent an expert Qari with every Mus'haf so that he could serve as the teacher. So every Quran that was sent out to different parts of the countries, a Qari went with them. So that way they could recite it correctly as the Quran should be read. SubhanAllah, man, that's amazing. So you guys hear that, right? So this is why Tajweed is so important. As we can see that Uthman sends Qadis with every Quran to every part of the nation that the Muslims were. So that way they could learn the recitation of the Tajweed exactly the same throughout the whole nation. So there wouldn't be no difference in speech or language. All right. So let me go on. So in any case, in 25 AH, 5 master copies were prepared under the guidance of Uthman, and all the main existing fragmentary codices were burned, erased, or melted down. Now, Uthman was criticized by some for destroying the fragments, but his actions were after prior consultation with senior companions. Ali ibn Abu Talib said about this, by Allah, Uthman did not do anything in the matter of the Mus'haf except that it was with our unanimous approval. This is Ibn Abi Dawood, Kitab al-Mus'haf, page 30. So while the discussion on the compilation of the Holy Quran is certainly a fascinating one, it is important to also deepen our own personal relationship with the Holy Book through recitation, study, and contemplation. So Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, this is the book about which there is no doubt and guidance for those conscious of Allah. So guys, understanding from this, who compiled it, who wrote it, I'm sure you guys can see that, of course, Abu Bakr has started it when our Muslim brothers, the Sahabas, were dying in the 2 battles, but Uthman piled it together and spread it out by 12 companions who compiled it together. So, SubhanAllah. So now we know who compiled it and wrote it, and if someone asks us, we won't be doubting what our answers are. We'll know off the bats who did and why we did it. So the reason why we did it, of course, is because of the codex needed to be unanimous. The tajweed and the recitations needed to be the same because of different languages and different dialects. And of course, to preserve it. But of course, remember, memorization was the key preservation. And of course, the book was always in mind, because remember what was said earlier, Rasulullah had already had the scribes compile everything to make it a book one day, like the other scriptures. So this was already talked about while Rasulullah was alive. So I'm going to open this up to discussion on the Quran and the book, and and questions that were always asked by non-Muslims, trying to make it look like we have some kind of Like we have three books, or there's missing parts of the Quran and stuff like that. As we can see that there isn't. We're going to share the link here, guys. It's Monday. Sweet old Monday. What you guys like to do on Mondays today? Back to work? Everybody working? Hopefully, inshallah. Nobody's sick, hopefully. All right. All right, so I just sent out the link to our chat. Oops. All right. So, guys, if you guys want to join, come on, join here. There's the yeah, inshallah, I'm sure they're gonna be joining us soon. I mean, this is the time to get out from their beds. They're night owls, pretty much. So so yesterday we were watching. How many people watched Speaker's Corner yesterday? Type of one. If you guys watched Speaker's Corner yesterday, there's one video I watched. I'm not sure where everybody's at. Lately they've been working on late. Mm, yeah. I just sent it to him, so let's see who joins us. So how's your days, guys? Mm. Let me take a look here real quick. So yeah, I was watching this video on Speaker's Corner. Yeah, it was trying to look at the scenario here. Take a black color on there. Mhm. Inshallah, I gotta look for I actually deleted the past ones, but I don't think I really deleted them. I think they got hidden, so I gotta figure out how to restore them. So I'll find out how to restore them. If I can restore them, then I'll just put a few of them. Did you want to see a specific one on the stream, or mhm. Was there a specific video that you want to see? H. Yeah, no problem. I'll try bringing them up. Just let me know if you want something specific, so I can try bringing that out. Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm. Anyways, you see, right. Yeah, there were a lot of good ones. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna redo those videos anyways. Some of them had a little fit on them, and you know, that was good. So I might do bring the same topics up that we did in the past because I got those written down, and maybe we might just do a new refresher on those topics. But yeah, man. Let's see here. Let's see what else is there on there. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, look at here. Watch out, California. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right. Google Meets. Yeah, Google Meets. Yeah, not the first ones. Yeah, but the other ones had good discussions like with Ibrahim reactioning them. Um, let me check if anyone wants to join now. She was on the back here. I think I'm on a phone call too. Maybe that's why. Guys, you guys want to join? Go ahead and click that link. Share it again. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, shit, that. Yeah, yeah, it was. I'm not really saying anything because, like I said, I'm trying to stay away from any kind of fitna. But I think you already know the answer. Gotcha. You got first new son. All right, so if anyone wants to join and share some belief about our topic today, which is who compiled and wrote the Quran, definitely come join. I'll give another 10 15 minutes, and if not, I'm going to close up. All right, where's everybody at? Going through. It's quite a night tonight. Might have to shut it down early. Yeah, I have. Um, yeah, I think you probably yeah, I think we're busy right now. I'm chilling now. So you guys stay safe with the coronavirus. Stuff going on nice. How you doing? Well, same as that, guys. Be careful. The coronavirus is phase 2. We need the virus is coming back stronger. Stay home if you can. Avoid hand contact and coughing, holding along the jaw. Um, almost so. Yeah, I want to play this Fierce Corner video. 1 second. That I watched. 1 second. Let me bring it up here.
I made a statement about the Catholic Church. I said that the Catholic Church.
All right, so over. All right, here it is. This was yesterday. Mm, I'm gonna share this. Are you guys ready? I'm not sure what Nasser's at, but let me share the screen.
The devil is fighting you. The devil is on you. The devil is on you.
Shit, bro.
Don't go after
You stink of shit.
Oh,
You stink of shit.
Can you have that?
I can smell your breath. Yo,
Jesus is the way, the truth, and the
I
life.
might even have some spray for you.
Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Don't go after.
Don't want to whack you. You stink of shit, bro.
Don't go after false prophets.
I don't give a shit.
Don't go after false
Don't
prophets.
tell me. It doesn't give a chance to talk. Don't tell me.
Don't go after false prophets.
Don't tell me. I'm telling you. Don't tell me. I'm telling you.
Are you my friend?
I don't care. Don't tell me. How do you know Muslim? How do you know Muslim? I don't think he's Muslim. I don't think he's Muslim. Right there. So don't assume. No, I don't think he's Muslim, by the way. I don't think he's Muslim. Yeah. He's Muslim, but he's not.
I'm asking you, are you Muslim? No.
Did I say?
The one who brings the false
Did I say I'm Muslim? Did I say I'm Muslim? I am.
No, but I'm asking.
Why are you talking? I'm not here to talk. So why are you talking with me? Don't touch him. Listen, I'm not. Listen, I'm not here to talk. My man started talking to me. What my religious denomination is, bro. My man started talking shit about me. Assuming that I'm Muslim. I'm telling him that all I'm talking to was me. My man thinks the shit, bro. I don't know. So why are you not?
No, ask him. He is shooting. He is shooting. And I said,
Right, then, why are you shooting?
so I said, are you?
My man started with you, bro. I'm telling you.
And he is shooting like he's a Muslim.
Before you start with the picture,
And he was
sort your hygiene out, fam.
I said,
My man thinks the shit, bro.
I said, so accusing someone of being a Muslim. Fair enough, that's wrong. So I'm asking, are you? Instead of accusing.
My religion.
Who was the father of Muhammad? Who was the father of Muhammad? No. Tell me, who was the father of
But what
Muhammad?
kind of question? Who is the father of Muhammad?
I'm showing you. Who was the father of Muhammad?
Do you know that?
I will show you. But first tell me, who was the father of
Ask your daughter, seriously, ask your daughter,
Who was
she's
the
never
father
done
of
Islam. Your daughter's never done Islam, ask her.
I will definitely show you.
You think of shit.
You tell me.
Your
Who was the
daughter,
father of Muhammad?
your daughter converted to Islam, ask her. If anything about Islam, ask her. Yeah, I thought it's those. Wallahi. Yo. Why has that answered the question?
Yes, I will explain you. Yes, I will show you and I will explain you.
Do it.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Who was the father of Muhammad?
Why are you asking me? Exactly.
Who was the father?
Abdullah.
Abdullah. Yeah. What does Abdullah mean?
Slave of God.
Slave of Allah. Abdullah was born in pagan family. He lived as a pagan. He worshipped pagan Allah. He died as a pagan.
How the fuck do you know?
Which Allah's
How the
servant
fuck do
he
you
was.
know?
Which Allah's servant he was. He was the servant of pagan Allah. He was the servant of pagan Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. India-born Pakistani 12 Shia scholar Zamir Akhtar Naqvi passed away at 76 years old on September the 12th, 2020. Naqvi's video spread around the internet due to his passionate yet erratic behavior on the pulpit, where he often manages to get his congregation into a frenzy regardless of the bizarre content of his sermons. Time and time again, he told peculiar stories and spewed the utmost kufr, ranging from claiming 12 Shia self-flagellators from Nepal went to a jungle and did tatbir, cutting themselves until they died, and then Abbas came and resurrected them, to claiming Zuljana the horse created Pakistan, all the way to even calling Hussein radiallahu anh God. Unsurprisingly, regardless of his views, when Naqvi passed away, mainstream Western-based 12 Shia scholars came and offered public condolences and even praised him, such as Hussein al-Qazwini, who called him a scholar and a sincere servant of Ahlul Bayt. So before I get to the main point of this video, let's have a look at some of the views of this sincere servant of Ahlul Bayt.
تو کس نے بنایا پاکستان؟ پہلے زلینا نے بیٹا دیا قائد اعظم کی دادی کو. زلینا سے بات چلی, پاکستان پہ ختم ہوئی تو پتہ چلا پاکستان زلینا کے سموں کا صدقہ ہے, گھوڑے کا صدقہ, گھوڑے کا صدقہ. ارے اب جملہ سن لو, چونکہ زلینا کی وجہ سے یہ ملک بنا, پورے ملک کی آبادی کو زلینا کے سموں پر سجدہ کرنا چاہیے. جھوٹے ہو, خدا داد نہیں ہے, خدا نے یہ ملک نہیں دیا, گھوڑے نے دیا ہے. پاکستان کا مطلب کیا؟ لا الہ نہیں, پاکستان کا مطلب کیا؟ زلجنا. پاکستان کا مطلب گھوڑا, پاکستان کا مطلب دلدل, پاکستان کا مطلب ہائے حسین, کیا حسین؟ دلدل کی وجہ سے, زلجنا کی وجہ سے, بڑا شریف گھوڑا تھا. قائد اعظم کی دادی کی سن لی, تبھی تو عورتیں کان میں دلدل کے جانے کیا باتیں کرتی ہیں اور سال بھر میں پوری ہو جاتی ہیں. ارے حسین کا شبی کا گھوڑا جب دعائیں پوری کر دیتا ہے تو حسین کیا ہے جو رب بن جاتے.
پورے قد سے اٹھا